Okay, good. Nobody got on this computer. Alright, good. My roommate's not here, so. Uh, oh man, today at school? Oh geez. Today was just absolutely crazy. Right now I was majoring in some science class, and I was in class and we were waiting for Professor Klump to get into our class, and then little did I know, I was talking to my friend Marcus, and then my friend um, Jeff, and all of a sudden we saw all these hamsters everywhere, and man, it was just not good. I'll tell all of you guys about it right now. So anyway, me and my friend Jeff, like we all of a sudden we saw the hamsters, and everybody was just going crazy. Everybody was just running around and crazy. Because of all the hamsters being everywhere. I mean, they were crawling in the gym, they were crawling in the library, in the classroom. There was even one friend of mine that I saw a hamster, go like in his pants, and his girlfriend was like impressed, because like well, that is something I probably don't want to get into. But anyways, there was just all bunch of hamsters everywhere. They were running around and they were destroying cars and all that stuff. And so then my friend Jeff's like, you know, he you know he was like, Joel, we gotta get out of here. Joel, we gotta get out of here, man. There's hamsters everywhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure, class is canceled. We gotta get out of here. And so then after that, so all the hamsters were just crawling around, and me and Jeff and we were just like running around trying to look for a car just to escape from the campus, and unfortunately, when we were looking for a car, we found out that all the cars that were around the campus, they got destroyed, by the hamsters. And I was just so dumb. I was just so confused. I mean, I know my IQ is like 87, is at 87 or 91 or so, but I just know for a fact that a single hamster can't destroy your whole car. It's just mind-boggling, man. And so anyway, we were running around, and it just wasn't good. And so there was like 6 billion hamsters, everywhere, and it it just wasn't very good. And so then I saw, one girl that had like 30 hamsters on her, and she was running around, and and, and man, it was crazy, man. But yeah, like after the hamster incident, we learned on from like the bulletins that we didn't have like no class, and so me and Jeff were really excited that we had no class, and we had no class. I mean, even though I do love our science teacher, Professor Klump, he would, you know. And so me and Jeff were so excited, and we watched a lot of movies, and we played N64 and all that jazz. And then and so we decided to go to the mall. We decided to go shopping, I think, and then all of a sudden we saw this crazy guy that was saying that he was thin and all that stuff. I think he was African American, I believe, and I don't know what, but he was trying on like 99 pairs of spandex, and he was I don't know. I mean, he was dancing, while looking in the mirror, and I mean, and then me and Jeff like saw him, and we just, oh my, we just cracked up laughing, because it was just so funny. And so then me and Jeff, we were spying on him, and then he went into a yoga place where all these beautiful women were, because they were doing yoga and all that stuff, and so he was doing yoga, and he was I mean, oh man, we were looking at the window, me and Jeff and I, and so he was just like flirting with like 19 women in there, and it was just crazy, man. It was just crazy. And so, but that's not all though. I mean, me and Jeff, we were just so amazed that all this stuff was happening, and so then, and then we got out of our dorm again, after we ate dinner, and so then we got on some nice clothes, and we snuck into this karaoke place, where there's this comedian, and we saw the same person that was in the clothing store and in the yoga place that was seducing women, and I'm pretty sure he had like a date, I believe. And so he was just making a big fool out of himself in front of the original comedian, and he was just laughing, and so he was just like making a huge fool out of himself, and he had like this red necktie and this nice 90s suit, I believe. And what happened was we saw him beat up the original comedian. He knocked him out and banged his head on the piano, and he put him inside the piano, and he said Reggie has left the building, and that just made us laugh. And then all of a sudden we saw him again, and then we saw him again, and he had like 20 women with him, and he bought like 30 bottles of champagne, and he bought like a lot of food and pizza, and he was just having fun, and me and Jeff, we were just laughing, but then what happened was we unfortunately missed our bus to get back to our school, and so me and Jeff, we had to run to the bus. We had to run to the bus, and unfortunately, we almost grabbed the bus, and we almost even climbed up the bus. Even though I know that's illegal. Since President Clinton is president, but nonetheless, the same guy um that was in those clubs and all stuff. He was able to give me and Jeff a ride home, and I didn't even get his name too. I think his name was Buddy something, but he was a cool guy, and some of the things that he did that night was pretty funny. Yeah, but anyway, after that buddy person, he dropped us off. Unfortunately, he wasn't very nice to me and Jeff. He dropped us off, and I, me being a very polite person, I said thank you and all that stuff. But then he just was like, would say he was like, now you get back to your class, and then he just drove off in his Mustang, and then a puddle of water, dropped. And so anyway, so with me and Jeff's curiosity, we started to follow him more. And then we even saw the dean of our college, be with him. And and he was with this other, man, what was he? It was like a middle, he was this other older gentleman that had like a white beard on him. And so then what happened was, then I think he was like doing some sort of science experiment. Me and Jeff were spying through the window, and he was like doing like some sort of like science experiment, explaining, how exercise is very, very, very important. I think that's what he was saying, you know. And so then after he was explaining all that, there was this one beautiful lady that had like a very purple dress, and she was very lovely looking, and I saw the same guy, and he was flirting with that girl, and all of a sudden, there was these three other beautiful women at that same table at that fancy restaurant, and so then we were shocked because all the science stuff that he was saying kind of reminded me and Jeff of some of the same science stuff that Professor Klump taught us, and it was just very interesting. It was odd, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to see him do all that stuff, and so we just knew this was getting pretty big, and so we really needed to follow this guy a lot, And so since we didn't have class, my friend Jeff and my friend Jeff was like, Joel, we need to go spy on that guy. That guy could be Professor Klump. And I'm like, Jeff, Professor Klump has not appeared in our classes for 6 days now, So we actually shouldn't be worried, man. So yeah, there was another fancy event that was going on, I think, and me and Jeff, we were so, I mean, we wanted to get some fancy clothes on, and so I got myself this really nice '90s suit, which was really cool, and it had like I think it was like a green and blue bow tie or something, and then Jeff wore a necktie, I think, and so we went to the event and we saw Buddy Love again, and since we were college students, we weren't really supposed to be there, and it was so funny, because because there was a lot of adults there, and people did not know we weren't really supposed to be there. And so then what happened was we saw Buddy Love, and then his arm got like super big, and then his face was just transforming all the time, and he was, and then we saw like his clothes ripping and all this stuff, and so then what happened was he was dancing, and there was one of our teachers dancing with him, and unfortunately his booty got like pretty big that he knocked the girl, to the, really. But then me and Jeff, kept our cool. Um, but then, once we found out that Buddy Love was really Professor Klump, uh, you know, then unfortunately the dean caught us there, and he saw us and he was like, those are college kids. Get them right now, and so we were running, and so we were like running away, and then as we got back to the campus, the dean wasn't able to get us, but then we got a call into his office, and yeah, unfortunately, me and Jeff, we got expelled from our campus, and that's why I was over here just picking up my stuff, because I'm moving back to Seattle, and unfortunately, my team is unfortunately in shambles right now, because Ken Behring, wants to move the Seahawks, and I'm sad, because because I love my Seahawks, and I grew up watching Steve Large and all that stuff. But anyway, back to my college story. I was just picking up some things, and who would have thought me and Jeff would have gotten expelled, because I love going into Professor Klump's classes, and yeah, and so it was not very good, and so, anyways, yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll be able to go to another university, really soon. Maybe I can try to go to UW, because, UW is a lot more closer to home. And heck, uh, dang it, I don't know how their program is really doing, you know, but, I do love UW. UW is a good party school. And so maybe I can look up maybe some information to maybe go to UW. And so that would be nice. But yeah, it is pretty sad because the college experience here was just off the charts. I had a great professor and Professor Klump, but I mean, it was just too bad, that he's not gonna no longer be my professor. And yeah, so unfortunately, I might have to leave really soon. Yeah, and it just makes me sad. But the good news though is even during my last days, being at this college, I definitely learned and got to get some access into some stuff that I normally don't go into, such as spying on somebody who bought like 99 pairs of spandex and him seducing 2,000 women in one night. I don't think Michael Jordan could seduce women in that short amount of time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like Troy Aikman, I cannot see Troy Aikman doing that. As much as a good quarterback that it's pretty wild, dude. But anyway, I got to go. I'm heading back to Seattle after getting expelled from this university. You know, goodbye, my friend. Goodbye, my friends back in Chicago. I have to go. And remember, if anybody sees this in 20 years from now, just remember, I am Joel. And hopefully I get a job working for President Bill Clinton. That would be cool too. Anyway, goodbye everybody. Oh, thank you for subscribing everybody. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Even though my students, Jeff and Joel, won't be coming back to this university next year. I kind of know why they won't be back. They were very, very good students. But unfortunately, I found out that they unfortunately got expelled for going to that fancy event. Oh no. Oh, kids these days. When will kids learn not to do anything crazy and stupid? Hey man, all those things that Joel did. I mean, all you young people out there that's looking at this video. I have one advice for all you guys: never stop the party, no matter how much in trouble that you get. I applaud Joel and his friend. Running away from that fancy event, and they were climbing on the bus. I mean, even though I didn't have a camera, that stuff was funny.